And good morning, and welcome to WyoToday Sports Live here on 101.7 KDNO. It's a two-man show today. It's myself and Baylor Beers. Cody has a meeting over in Lander first thing, so it's just his boy and me. Baylor, how's it going?
Good. You know, kind of a touch of winter coming back. I mean, you had a good experience with that last night.
Oh, goodness. So we'll start off with Riverton soccer. Riverton falls 4-0 in the girls matchup and 2-0 in the boys matchup. And the boys matchup we'll get to in just a second. That's where weirdness occurred. But this was another game for both squads. Jackson and Kelly Walsh have rotated number 1 and number 2. Jackson went as low as number 3, right behind Riverton. Riverton's kind of at that. If it was UFC, we'd be the gatekeeper. Right now, we are good enough to compete with anybody. We're good enough to beat anybody, but Jackson, Kelly Walsh, who are of course the two class programs, the two elite, and they are guarding that against Riverton. Riverton trying to get there. For the girls, even though they felt very similar in a shutout, like they did to Jackson here a week ago, it is a team that made strides, whereas against Jackson, just unable to get anything going in the offensive half, much less the attacking third. Coach Wahid made a move that we first saw against Star Valley on Saturday. Also saw it against Evanston on Tuesday, both wins on a 2-game winning streak coming into this since the loss to Jackson, and that is moving to Katie Yarber, who is, of course, headed to the next level to play center back in the back line defensively, but you know, and I said, why not from the beginning? I asked her when she signed, are you going to play any offense like you have at times? Because this may be your last chance at a high level to be able to play offense, because in college, they want her on the back line for obvious reasons. Much like her dad was, and your dad's talked about here on the show, her dad being a great basketball player and having speed. She's got speed. It's deceptive because she's got a long gait for someone she's not overly tall. It's not like she's 6'2" or anything, but she takes a long stride, and we were able to get opportunities and chances. We had 2 very good scoring opportunities because they didn't just play to her, they played through her, and that paid off in the previous 2 games, and I think it's going to pay off even more. Even though we've beaten everybody, that just adds a third score. She had the hat trick against Star Valley. She joined Celia Mejorado and Carson Vosica as one of the top goal scorers. So, hey, it's never bad when you can add a third consistent option to score goals, especially when you're trying to replace a player by committee like Cammie Paskett, which is what they're trying to do.
I think it's really hard. You know, you can kind of change your technique to play defense against 2 good players, I think, in soccer. You know, you can kind of get them alone, that kind of thing, make them make moves. But when you have 3 good goal scorers, obviously that's all the difference, I think. You know, someone's going to end up being open. It's Wyoming high school soccer. I mean, you know, there's going to be a weakness that they can exploit there. So, yeah, I mean, I don't see why not giving her a chance to play a little bit of offense.
Well, and you also throw in the fact that Timbry Mathil has 2, both in the first game, and that's who the next opponent is, Rock Springs, on Tuesday night on WyoToday's live stream at Rock Springs. Girls won 6-4, boys I think won 3-1 off the top of my head. But you've got some other scores. Hallie Saltzgaver, of course, Hunter's younger sister, has won a goal. There's been other scores as well. So the team just needs the improvement I saw against the 2 elite teams between Jackson Game and Kelly Walsh is good. It's not what I would call significant yet, but it's good, and you can see that Coach Wahid and that coaching staff have a plan to get up there, and realistically, they really only have to have it ready by regionals. They do have a game going to Jackson. Kelly Walsh will be coming here. For those of you who are going, hey, the pink game's tonight. No, it's not. It has been rescheduled, partly because the potential for weather that was looking for overnight and Natrona County getting here. Also, I think because it's going to be really cold tonight compared to, it's going to be like normal first month of the season. Usually March and April are usually pretty bitter to be out there in shorts and a T-shirt playing soccer. And, of course, the pink night is a tradition that the whole community supports. You get a lot of people who come out who, quite frankly, they're not soccer fans. They maybe don't even know the sport all that well, but they come out to support that. So I think it was a wise move. That game will now be on May 5th. Natrona County will come here for that game. We're also been alerted by AD Max Mills that the games on the 8th or 9th, one of those may move around because that'd be 3 games in 4 days. So that'd be asking a lot, especially going into regionals when you want to get your momentum going and stuff of that nature. So that is a change. The boys' games where things got weird. Not that Riverton is a improved team from last year. They were an improved team last year. So they made state tournament for the first time in a while. They're not quite there yet. I think they will get there in the coming years to be able to play with the Kelly Walshes, play with Jackson at a more consistent level, mainly because everybody thinks, well, Hunter Saltzgaber, superstar, will be gone. The team, the starting lineup is littered. I mean, it's vastly majority sophomores, and they're coming into their own. But they got down on a PK last night, 1-0. At half, it was 2-0, and a few little snow flurries started to fall. By 5 minutes into the second half, the field's covered. So in about the span of like 10 minutes, it gets covered. So Coach Becker and the coach Kelly Walsh get together. If anybody's familiar with the new Kelly, they're the only team that doesn't play at their football stadium that I've covered. They have their own soccer complex, so JV's playing, and like here where it's over at the field by the Career Center. No, it's right next to you. So all the coaches, all 4 of them, the JV girls coaches all got together. Ref walks out, blows it. So we did a Click Air Ticket post-game show that was very, very short because we knew, oh, goodness. Because they'd said the worst is going to be Natrona County line to Shoshone. It was. So we get on the road, could not see anything by the time I see that 3 miles out to the rest area. Stopped at the rest area. It looked like a McDonald's drive-thru after a Cody basketball game in Cody where it's a 1.5 miles long. We're just all on this big line. We're there for about an hour and a half, talking with your dad, seeing if he was coming to the show, talk with you. Your dad said, oh, the plow guy says he's coming by. At this point in time, he'll be there or that. So I was like, okay, well, I can maybe follow somebody. Well, what I didn't know at the time was they'd held the buses. Riverton I guess a decision was made. Maybe it was no unnecessary travel. I didn't think check 511 at that point because I was like, it doesn't matter if it says it's clear, I can't see. So it really doesn't matter what the app says. I'm going with my eyes. And so they held the buses. And about 9:20-ish, 9:30, I see a bus go by. Evidently, that was the boys' bus. And I was like, okay, so I'm going to get ready to go. Still don't know what the road looks like, though. And then the girls' bus pulls up right next to me. So I get out, talk to Coach Wahid. I was like, I couldn't see anything. He's like, we were held back. And the bus driver's there was like, but I can see a big yellow bus, especially because they all had their flashers on. Mm-hmm. So got behind them and followed them the rest of the way home. But we got home about an hour later than we expected to if we'd finished on time. So just crazy weather, typical Wyoming weather, right? So, but Riverton does have a chance to bounce back. They're going to need to bounce back. But we're going to get into we say we cover everything local, so we got a lot of names to mention here. We're going to start off with the Douglas Invitational last night. My son's on the boys track and field team. They went to Douglas. Of course, they were about 50 miles further east than we were. And they got back late. They were expected to get back at 8, but this weather wasn't supposed to get bad till like 9, 10, 11 as far as that. Well, no, it was more like 7. So it threw everything off. But we're going to go through the names here. A lot from Hot Springs and a lot from Riverton as well and others. At the Douglas Invitational last night, winning the girls 4x800 meter relay was Thermopolis High School. They also won the boys 4x800. Winning the girls 100 meter hurdles is Lawson Yates, a freshman from Riverton. Winning the 110 meter hurdles is a junior Stetson Moody from Thermopolis. And they did so well, we're just going to go through the winners. There's a whole lot of Riverton Thermopolis names throughout, and some Sheridan and everything else. So, or maybe I spoke too soon. Oh, no, I didn't. In the girls' sprint medley relay, it was Shoshone High School edging out. I say edging out Thermopolis. They won by 43 seconds. No results on the boys sprint medley. Girls 1600 meter run, Anastasia Nowlin, a sophomore from Riverton, came in second. Boys 1600 meter, Jadith Elder and Eamon Gevis from Thermopolis took second and third respectively. And the girls 4x100, Riverton in second. Boys 4x100, Riverton's first, Thermopolis in second. And we don't have the names on here of who ran in those relays, so we apologize about that. And the girls 400 meter dash, it was all local in the top four. Lily Ormond from Riverton won it. Addie Mason in second from Shoshone. Jaden Brown from Thermopolis in third. And Caroline King from Riverton in fourth. And the boys 400 meter dash, Thermopolis' Cole Keller wins. Cayman Miller from Riverton in second. Jordan Garrison in third from Thermop. Brody Shepard in fourth from Shoshone. Girls 300 meter hurdles, it was freshman Lawson Yates winning that from Riverton. Boys 300 meters, it was Clay Sheets, of course, from football and basketball fame as well, winning that. Stetson Moody from Thermopolis in second. Camden Irvin from Riverton in third. And the girls 800, it was, this is nice. Freshman Alyssa Good from Shoshone wins the 800 meter run. Kenzie Chris from Douglas came in second there. Boys 800 meter run is Jacoby Elder from Thermop wins it. Ridge Ryman from Riverton comes in second. Girls 200 meter dash, nobody local in the top 3 or 5. Boys 200 meter dash, Zach Hasty, a name we know from football for Thermop, and basketball especially, hit the huge shot against Wyoming Indian in the regionals. He comes in third. Riverton's Jamison Spradlin comes in fifth. And the girls 3,200 meter run. Now we're getting to the point where I'd just die on the distances. Of course, you went for a run last night. I'll run when someone's chasing me and has a bigger weapon than I. It was Samantha Krantz, a senior from Riverton, won by 21 seconds. Wow. Boys 3,200 meter run. Ridge Ryman comes in second. And you want to talk about 3,200 meters, decent distance. What is that? That's the equivalent of 2 miles, 2 roughly. Miles, he comes in second to Owen Partridge from Glenrock High School. The difference, 1/100th of a second. Wow. 11:27:05 versus 11:27:06. To put it in perspective, third place, over a minute and a half behind him. Wow. So
that would have been a fun finish to watch.
Yeah, it would have been. And the boys 4x400 meter relay, Thermopolis in first, Riverton in second. Girls high jump, nothing locally. Boys high jump, Clay Sheets comes in fourth. Tied with second and third, tied with 4 different players getting to 5'9". Jacob Miller from Wheatland jumps 6.6. Girls pole vault, we didn't have third place, Addison Pert. Boys pole vault, Thermopolis' Dylan Myers comes in second. Girls long jump, best local finisher was Peyton Arnold from Shoshone High School in third, and Addie Madison from Shoshone in fifth. Boys long jump was a local 1-2, Gage Treber. He played football, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Okay, of course he did play basketball. Basketball very well. Of course he played football because he plays basketball like he plays football, just reckless abandon. Gage Treber wins that, the long jump, edging out fellow teammate Jamison Spradlin by 1/4 of an inch. Wow. Coming in fourth was Stetson Moody from Thermopolis. Girls triple jump, I didn't even know they did triple jump at high school out here. Nobody local. On the boys' side, boys discus, girls discus, Alexis Taylor wins, out throwing, she's from Riverton, Yona Grainary from Sheridan, outthrows her by roughly 10.5 feet. Oh, no, 10.5 inches because she didn't throw 120 feet. Ashlyn Jones, locally from Riverton, finishes in fourth. Boys discus, no surprise here. Caden Liebrick leads the way for high school. Of course, last year he shattered a school record for the first time in like 50 years. Yep. It's been broken. Anthony Cheatham from Thermopolis comes in second. And now I'm looking for my boy. I'm not going to announce it because he's only 3 weeks into ever throwing a discus. I'll look for that later. Oh, there he is. He didn't come in last. So that's good. Just trying something new, you know. He's not really the guy for sports, but he really loves this. Girls shot put, all because a certain Lander wasn't there. Because if she's healthy, which she wasn't for the duel, but Riverton finishes in third and fourth, that being Ashlyn Jones and Alexis Taylor. For boys shot put, Caden Liebrett comes in second behind Hunter Anderson from Douglas. Anthony Cheatham from Fremont comes in fourth. Boys triple jump, Gage Schreiber finishes in second. Cole Keller from Thermopolis finishes in third. So team score wise, the event was won on the girls' side by Douglas High School. Riverton comes in second. Shoshone in fifth. Thermopolis in seventh. On the boys' side, it is a nice victory by 14 points for Riverton. Thermopolis comes in second, and Shoshone in seventh. Also, we'd be remiss if we didn't mention the duel from the other night. We're not going to go through all the names. Riverton and Lander finally playing in something again besides football, which they conferencely are obligated to. This is part of Matt George and Max Mills saying the keeper of the gold's coming back, and Riverton defeats Lander to win the keeper of the gold for this year, for 2026, at least this school year. And if we have, I know we've mentioned once before, but in the newly renovated gym, I think this is so cool. Keeper of the gold in volleyball is back, and it will be to break in the new Riverton renovated gym. Riverton versus Lander, first athletic contest of the 26-27 school season.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting. That's a good way to break in a brand new gym. Hopefully, I know Lander folks probably listen to this, but hopefully Riverton takes down Lander.
Okay. And that's a sport where they've been really well matched at times over the years. You know, for a while there, and let's be real. I mean, as of late, you know, in my time here, football's been kind of, Lander was hot for a couple years, defeated Riverton when they were playing. Now Riverton's kind of turned that tide in football. In basketball, I think you got to give the edge to Lander Valley past couple years, but they haven't played. Previous to that, of course, it was Jason Vincent, Parker Paxton, Derek DeVries, stuff like that, and Riverton held the edge. So, soccer-wise, girls would be a very good game this year if they were playing. Boys, you'd probably give a slight edge to Lander, but it'd be very slight. But girls, yeah, both the girls' programs are really good. And by the way I'm projecting out, take it for what it's worth. I'm the only guy who really follows both of them all that much. As far as in the media, I think all four teams have a very good shot. In fact, I almost guarantee three of them are in. I think I can almost say the Riverton boys are a guarantee. It should be a guarantee to get into state. Sure. What happens in Gillette after that happens, who knows? But we should, for the first time in a long time, well, first time since last year, but first time in a long time, we kind of have the feeling it can happen. Last year was the boys got an upset at regionals, got in, wound up losing a next game, but then winning getting into third, fourth place game, final way into that game and got in. This year, it should be a little more cut and dry. They still may have to go that third, fourth route, but
sure,
they should be there.
Hopefully not. You know, the higher seed, obviously, you get in regionals, the later you have to face Kelly Walsh or Jackson, ideally.
Well, right now, if we can continue playing like we do, the one is going to be Jackson or Kelly. The two is going to be the other one. The third is the one that's up for grabs. I haven't looked at how they're doing overall. The only other defeat that Riverton has is at Green River. They're going to get a chance next Saturday at 1 o'clock is the boys' game. A chance to avenge that. I don't know who Green River has lost to otherwise, but third and fourth right now, it looks like it's going to be Riverton Green River in some formation. Rock Springs, chance to sweep the season series with them on Tuesday. Evanston have already swept the senior season, have already the season series. Star Valley boys are much better than the girls. They just can't finish. That seems to be their problem. Riverton winning 3-1. The poor Star Valley girls, they're so young, but they as of Saturday when we played them, I was wondering why they didn't have any stats for me to go over in the pregame show. They haven't scored a goal. They didn't against Riverton, lost 7-0. They've lost 3 times by 10 or more. I mean, it's been a hard season, but here's the fun part. Watching them, they still played really hard. So credit that coaching staff for keeping them mentally in that.
Yeah, okay, that's a tough thing to do, losing by double digits multiple times
and having 0 goals.
And having 0 goals.
You've had 0 offensive success.
Yeah.
And you're in game 6.
Yeah. I've unfortunately been on some teams like that. And
I think they scored against Evanston earlier in that week, but they did fall. The boys got their first win against Evanston in that week, and then I was like, "This is a game. This is kind of like the Jackson girls basketball game when we went there. If you're not completely focused, they're not a bad team.
Yeah.
They're just not quite as good. So maybe it is they're quote unquote a bad team, but they're right there. They lost games like 4-2, 4-3, stuff like that. They'd only been blown out by 1, and that was Jackson. And that makes perfect sense if you see both those teams play.
Yeah.
And more on the girls and boys. We never play well at Kelly Walsh. The weather there is always I'm not talking about Casper's always windy. It has rained or snowed every game I've ever called there, and this is year 5. Every single time. It's awful weather, and the wind does play a factor because you see the punts and the long goal kicks and long free kicks just going every which way, whatever way the wind's blowing. Kelly Walsh has the advantage. They play in that every day. They practice that. So when you look at they take real short passes, they work up possession, and it's a thing of art. And quite frankly, for Riverton to, especially the girls, to get up to that elite level where it's 3 teams in 4A West, they're going to have to do that because that's what Jackson, Kelly Walsh can do that Riverton hasn't quite mastered yet, which is bringing it up with possession, bringing it up under full control. Riverton's a little more like a lot of hockey teams, long pass, kind of dump and chase, and they're more physical than most teams. Most teams, not Jackson, Kelly Walsh. They match them physicality-wise, and Jackson's got a little more speed. Kelly Walsh, we kind of match up with speed-wise, but we got to be able to bring it up controlled as well. And so that you can tell they're working on that with some of the position changes, some of the aggression changes, and I think Coach Wahid will get it done. And who knows, come Gillette and State, we'll see.
Yeah.
We also had Riverton had a huge day, or a huge set of days at the state championships for youth wrestling. In the WAWA Kids 6/16U/Junior State Championships held in Casper back on the 10th through 12th at the Ford Wyoming Center. Here are your first place state champions. Santiago Acebo, first place in both 12U boys freestyle, 92 pounds, and 12U boys folk style, 92 pounds. We should have had Robert in here because I don't know what folk style is. Do you?
I'll look it up while you
I know what Greco versus freestyle is. Preston O'Neill wins the 8U boys folk style at 85 pounds. Addison Apodaca wins the 14U girls freestyle 100 pounds, second place in both 14U girls Greco 100 and folk style 100. Cam Larson wins the 10U boys freestyle 63 pounds. Oh, to be that light and that in shape. 63 pounds, and fifth in both 10U boys Greco and folk style 63. Cason Long wins the 12U boys freestyle at 86 pounds. Third place in Greco 86 and folk style 86. Jagger Barton, 8U boys Greco champ at 56 pounds. Zeppelin Blackburn, triple crown winner, as she takes all 3 styles. She wins in 8U, she wins girls Greco, girls freestyle, and girls folk style for 74 pounds. So, yeah, I want her like in a back alley with me if I'm going home late at night. She's tough cookie. Just some additional pole player, Molly Thompson, second place in 12U girls folk and free at 59. Zeppelin Blackburn, second place in freestyle, 68 and 74. And Greco, 68 and 74. And third place in folk style, 74 and 85. Mia Hanger, second place, 14U freestyle. Third place, 14U folk style at 85. Trace and Bart, we're just for purpose of time, we're going to stop listing what they were, but they were top three. Trace and Barton, Ryland Gambler, Colin Thompson, Titan Shells, Trenton Shells, Sawyer Person, Valentine Hartman, Natalie Pearson, Xander Weliever, Remy Young Chief, Tayden Slack, Parker Nelson, William Apodaca, and Waylon Pearson, all also placing on the podium. The Riverton USA wrestling staff wanted to say they were incredibly proud of every athlete who stepped on the mat. Seeing our younger kids up to all of our older kids battle through the state brackets shows the depth and talent we have in Riverton. These results are testament to their hard work and support of our wrestling community. Congrats to all those kids. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 state champs, some at multiple styles. So congratulations to them on bringing home some gold here to Fremont County.
Yeah, I think that was a multi-day tournament. Obviously, I think there's one style per day, I would imagine, or over several days, maybe. But yeah, congrats to all those champions, all the people who finished on the podium. That's the foundation of the wrestling program, for the middle school and the high school here in Riverton. So it's good to see them have really good success at a culminating event in the state.
I mean, absolutely. And, this is nothing new for Riverton Youth Wrestling. They've been one of the dominant performers there, and they continue to be. And, before we go any further and say, well, they are the dominant, we also have to look at our hockey team. Our youth hockey teams, of course, bringing home another state title. Hockey is a sport a lot of people would probably associate more so with Wyoming due to our winners, but not really. Yeah, well, not in Riverton
Not
at
Riverton
least
this year, yeah.
But we don't have a pro team. We don't have we have a college club team, but not an NCAA team, so to speak. But boy, has Riverton youth hockey, even without ice, basically this year. Basically, they didn't do anything at home. We'd signed up to be a sponsor. They're like, hey, take it next year, because we had practice a few. We had a little bit of ice, and even with all that, having to go elsewhere to practice, still goes and dominates.
Yeah, that's telling both to the players and the coaches. Not having ice at all, not being able to have a home game all season, and then to still win the state title. It's hard traveling for an entire season to different towns to play. That's a lot of ask for the parents, for the players. For the school teachers, giving them their work because they're obviously missing class occasionally, so it's a testament to everybody involved with the hockey program.
Absolutely. Lander is off this weekend in soccer as well. Of course, they on Wednesday traveled over to Pinedale, and number 3 Lander, the girls win 13-0 at Pinedale. Wow. The boys, they win in a shootout. They won 3-1 as Gaitlin, who is their keeper for the Lander Valley Tigers, makes 2 saves in the 3-shot shootout, but it was tied 3-3 going into that. And I'm just kind of verifying that they don't play tonight or tomorrow. Okay, they do not. So they're off as well. So a little bit of a break. Do want to look, since we are an affiliate, Colorado Rockies sit at 7-12. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan, so I'm going to kind of let you take that and do what you will with it, because the Braves are the exact opposite, 12-7 at the top of the NL East. So, yeah.
To be honest, it feels like to me the Rockies, they prioritize their offense a lot. Obviously it's hard to get pitchers to come to Colorado because of the Coors Field effect, which, I don't know, whatever. It's hard to get good pitchers. We have that one pitcher. I don't even know his name because there's so many new players on the right.
Yeah.
But he pitched for Team Mexico in the World Baseball Classic. And he's had a good season, and really the pitching, I don't think has been the issue. It's been our offense the last, 7 games. We swept Houston, and got back up to 500 at 6-6, and then since then we're 1-6, and now we're 7-12. So,
Houston's 8-12, so it's not the feat it was.
I know, but
I'm just having fun poking fun at. It's not just the effect of you'd have to pitch in Coors Field. you also know right now, I mean, two of the more dominant teams the past couple of years, the Padres haven't been able to get over that hump that is the LA Dodgers, but you have the LA Dodgers in your division, so it's a tough one. The weird part for the Rockies is the breakdown of wins and losses backs you up in that it's more hitting than pitching, because at home they're 4-2. They've had a lot on the road, which they do usually early season because of weather. 3-10, they're awful on the road. They've played more road games seemingly than anybody. The Diamondbacks, oddly, which weather should be perfect this time of year, and they're inside of a dome. They're 6-6, but
yeah, I don't know. The Rockies have just always struggled on the road, and yeah, when the hitting doesn't show up, I mean, you could have the best pitcher in the world, you're still not going to win in the major league, in the major leagues. So it's I think the best season for the Rockies on the road, I think, was when they won over close to 100 games, and they were right at 500, I think, on the road. So they've never been very successful on the road, but yeah, no, being 3-10 on the road, you can't. I don't know. It's hard to argue that they're a good team.
And, of course, it doesn't get any easier for the Rockies
No.
as they open up a series at home. You can listen to it tonight on 991 KWYW. First pitch, 6:40. The Dodgers are in town. They'll be here for a 4-game stretch. Again, you can listen to all those games on 991 KWYW. 6:40 tonight, 6:10 first pitch on Saturday, 1:10 on Sunday, and 6:40 on Monday night. And that'll close out the series. And then it still doesn't get any easier. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The second place Western Division Padres come to town.
Yeah.
So could be a very important 7-game stretch here. And next week, maybe if we have a little bit more time and don't have as many great kids doing great things here, maybe we'll touch on UW basketball, the transfer portal, which of course hits everybody. The weird part is you kind of look at it and you go, okay, wait a second. There's this many open spots, and there's going to be a lot of kids who are frozen out. So, maybe we can discuss a little bit, especially with your dad here. I'm not a huge Tommy Tuberville fan because, of course, he coached Ole Miss and Auburn. And Auburn, probably the longest running rivalry in the country as far as consecutive games, because we didn't even take World War II off. And Alabama and Auburn did take some time off. So can't stand the man. Also can't stand a guy who says, I will leave Ole Miss in a pine box, implying he's not going to Auburn unless he's not leaving Ole Miss till he's dead. Says, I'm not leaving it unless it's in a pine box. Next morning at 8:30 at Auburn University press conference, he's standing there. So I don't know how many millions they offered him after that, but he has an interesting proposal that would help the Wyomings, help Georgia basketballs, help anybody who's not huge in basketball, and help football as well. And maybe we'll discuss some of the policies out there. The question, of course, now, especially with transfer policies, is going to be what can survive the courts. Because I was a transfer. I went from JUCO to Georgia, and there was no limit on me. So, what can they get away with? I do think they need to address this, guys playing at 26. And no, for the record, we're not talking about the BYU Mormon mission because they take 2 years off. We're talking about these kids who go over to Europe, try and play pro, go to the G League now, and, at 26 years of age, they're playing. COVID years are all done. That they gave extra years for that and stuff like that. So maybe we'll get into that next week with your dad. But Baylor, any final thoughts?
No, just big congrats to all the kids that have performed over the last week or more. I mean, that was a ton of names that we talked about. Congrats to all the wrestling champions, all the podium finishers. By the way, folk style is what they do in college and high school. So it prioritizes control. And then freestyle is more the explosiveness, takedowns, pins, all that stuff. So.
And Greco's a little bit more hold.
Upper body on that.
Upper body. Yeah, so congrats to all them. It's been a busy, busy week. I mean, everybody's played a ton of soccer, a ton of track and field. That's what we love about spring sports. And for us, Legion really kind of kicking off statewide. We'll get your dad in here. We do have somebody locally who's asked. I want to talk with your dad about it, but we've had someone say, and they're friendly. I mean, that wants to come in and kind of debate the A and double A situation. That has really ignited a firestorm. Some of it's gotten ugly. But this hasn't, and I understand both points of view. So, but Legion just around the corner, you'll be able to join myself, but also Marshall Whitaker's going to call some baseball for us, and things of that nature. So we'll have you covered as far as that goes. And last thing, we want to give a big shout out to Andrew Garcia. Heard from him yesterday, folks. He is going to join us next year. Lander football, Lander basketball. He's going to do some baseball with me and Marshall this year. He's feeling a lot better. He's done. He only had to have the one surgery. It was a major one. He's going through rehab now. It's his first week off of crutches. If you remember, he's the guy who snapped his leg at Wyoming Indian, one of our very own. So special shout out to him as he's getting back to normal and getting ready to graduate here on May 17th.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Fantastic to hear. I'm glad the recovery is going well for him. And then to be back in the booth next year. Well, I guess this summer. And next year. I mean, that's really exciting for WyoToday. We're glad that he's getting healed up.
And nobody who listens to him can tell me he sounds like he's 18.
Yeah.
On the PA stuff, he sounds like a 30-year-old pro. I mean, he's really, really good. We're blessed to have him along with Baylor and Cody and Simpson and Ryan and Kevin Gerber and Ernie and Jason much more. We've had Marshall. We've had a great crew. But there's still a lot of sports left as baseball kickoff, soccer's still going. We got state and track and field, everything else. So for Baylor Bears, this has been Kevin Shields. We'll see you next week on Friday morning at 8:08 here on WyoToday Sports Live and 101.7 KDNO.